Oh my God.
Hey, welcome to Black Spirituality on this melanated earth plane. All right, y'all, this is melanated earth frequencies. Boom. You see what I'm saying? We about to go through this video, man. It's Mission Mind Control. It's got 3.4 something million views. I thought it was hella interesting, and we're gonna have to get right into it because it's already an hour long. So without no further ado, bro, let's get it. Let's go ahead and bust this thing open.
This is the story of a 30-year search by U.S. intelligence agencies to perfect mind control.
Off the top, y'all see they on the mind control, man. Like, just take it serious, man. This is an old film. Like, they telling us what they do, but we don't see it, so it's really our fault.
Some of those engaged in that search have agreed to talk about it for the first time. One said, "I think every last one of us felt sorry to attempt this kind of thing. We knew we were crossing the line."
See what I'm saying?
The search would be endless. From brothels, an agent says, we learned a lot about human nature in the bedroom, to the mystical rites of a magical mushroom ceremony performed by an Indian shaman, to a Spanish bull ring. The bull has had electrodes implanted in the brain and is controlled by a scientist.
See?
There would be victims.
That stuff hurt.
One intelligence agency tried to peel this man's mind back to reveal its deepest secrets.
I'll live through it.
This man worked on some of these programs.
Look at him, happy.
He would write of his work, "It was fun, fun, fun."
Damn. Evil, y'all. Evil, man. We seeing evil right in front of our face. And they go show it all to us, man. This is a long one, but hang on for the ride.
This is the
It get
story
deep.
of the search for mind control.
Search for mind control. That's what he said.
ABC News Close-Up, Mission Mind Control. With ABC News correspondent, Paul Altmaier.
So just to show y'all, they show commercials in between. They're showing you mind control in between with the commercials, y'all. They showing you how they mind control us, how they make us care about shit we don't supposed to even care about. Check it out.
Mark?
Anne,
It's been ages.
can I buy it?
Allow me. 2 Michelob Lights.
Michelob makes a light beer?
Look at that.
Perfect.
They put in, look, they're showing them happy. Hey, face smiling. This is mind control. They're controlling our mind. They're making us think of something happy. You feel me? And they're talking about Michelob. Like, that shit good for you.
Good taste of Michelob
Look,
Light.
look, look,
Don't
look.
just compare it to other light beers.
Look.
Compare it to your regular beer. It's that good.
You always did go first class.
Your ticket to San Francisco. Thank
San Francisco?
You too?
See what I'm saying? All that good stuff happened. All because they got a Michelob Light.
Mrs.
your
Cooper,
mind.
I need help. With all these different dog foods, I don't know what kind to feed him.
Look.
Dry, soft.
They in your head.
It's not the form.
They're going off of issues that you might have. This is how they fuck with you. They're going through issues you might have in your mind. You don't know. So they give you a scenario, say, I don't know what to get, and you just got a new dog, and you're like, damn, I don't know what to get either. They're in your head. They're in your mind, yo. This is control.
The formula. Those are for any dog.
Those are for any dog,
old,
look.
whatever. But Cycle 2 dog food is
Look,
especially...
so you mean to tell me this lady just got a whole house full of Cycle 2 dog food? So somebody else brought a whole grocery bag of different dog food. Look at what's happening. Let's go back. Let me see where she was at. Is this a home or maybe it's a store?
Mrs. Cooper, I need...
Okay, Mrs. Cooper. This looked like a house to me, y'all. Even back in the day, okay, let's just say it's a store. You gonna bring a whole grocery bag into a whole nother store? Think about that. You gonna bring a whole grocery bag of food?
Help. With all these different dog foods, I don't
Look
know
at all
what
that shit
kind
in
to
that
feed
bag.
him. Dry, soft.
Honey, it's not the form, it's the formula.
Mm.
Those are for any dog, young, old, whatever. But Cycle 2 dog food
is especially for dogs ages 1 to 7.
Wow. Look at all that programming. It's in your head like, oh shit, I need to get that. That could be a bag full of poo. It could be a bag full of poo. They'll make you go get it. Even though it'll kill your dog later on. I'm telling you. Look, this is a real old commercial. Where's Cycle 2 at? I don't be hearing about Cycle 2 no more. Must have wasn't so good.
Cycle 2 formula has just what dogs in their active years need to help stay healthy.
Active years.
And happy.
With Cycle, I know
What's not an active year? I mean, ain't they alive? If they alive, they active.
what to feed him.
Now get Cycle 2 in 25-pound bags.
We are not professing to tell you the complete story of these activities.
Wow.
We are professing to tell you the complete story that we know. Right. But these records that we've uncovered don't tell the story. They tell pieces of it.
This is a story that has been told in bits and pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together.
Okay.
We know we don't have the full story. We do, however, have some striking new revelations and insights.
Let's go.
The story begins here, just off the nation's front yard, the Mall. The buildings behind me were the headquarters for the World War II Office of Strategic Services. It was here that the first halting steps toward mind control began. The shaper and molder of OSS was General Wild Bill Donovan. He said of his group's work...
His name is Wild Bill? Let's go back.
The first halting steps toward mind control began. The shaper and molder of OSS was General Wild Bill Donovan. He said of his group's work, we may have made mistakes, but we were not afraid to try things that were never done before.
We may have made mistakes, but we wasn't afraid to do it. We may have killed some people, fucked some people's head up, but we weren't afraid of it. You hear it? You gotta listen in between the lines.
In this anything-goes atmosphere, Donovan appointed this man, Stanley Lovell, a Boston industrialist, to break new ground in many scientific and technical fields. Donovan called Lovell his Dr. Moriarty, after the fiendish professor in Sherlock Holmes. Lovell liked the name and posed for this Saturday Evening Post photo. He later wrote of his OSS job that it was, quote, to stimulate the Peck's bad boy beneath the surface of every American scientist and to say to him, throw all of your normal law-abiding concepts out of the window. Here's a chance to raise merry hell.
Damn. So y'all look, this shit is documented, man. It's documented. How they just mess with us, man. It's documented. Y'all gotta look at. That's why I know this is a little small channel. I'm about to start putting all this stuff up. Y'all follow, like, subscribe. We're gonna go through and break this stuff down. From my TikTok to my YouTube. We about to start breaking it down, y'all. Y'all gotta check into this stuff.
It was in this atmosphere.
These dudes is literally evil, and they document it and show it to you, so they don't gotta be looked at as evil. Listen to what he said.
And to say to him, throw all of your normal law-abiding concepts out of the window. Here's a chance to raise merry hell.
To raise merry hell, he means is to experiment and do the worst to people and torture people just to find out how the mind works so they can control it. These people are sick, man. Let's go.
It was in this atmosphere that the search for mind control began. This bizarre man would be an active participant in that search over the next 2 decades. His name is George White, an OSS captain who had formerly been with the Bureau of Narcotics. In his diary, seen here publicly for the first time, White left a legacy of the darker side of American intelligence work. He received his early OSS training at the British-run school at Oshawa, Canada, the same school where Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond, was trained.
Damn.
White referred to the school in his diaries as the Oshawa School of Mayhem and Murder.
Dude, this stuff is documented, man. Y'all gotta wake the fuck up. They call the school, say it again, brother.
The school in his diaries as the Oshawa School of Mayhem and Murder.
Mayhem and Murder.
Mike Burke, former OSS colleague of White's and now president of Madison Square Garden Center.
Very compelling fellow, mysterious fellow, almost mystical fellow. He was fascinating because you knew something about him, but not enough about him to really get a fix on him. He also knew a great deal about the swifter elements of society, the gamier side of life, and he was very impressive in his technical knowledge of the underworld, so to speak.
Dang.
He said one of our men gets beat up. He says you have to act real fast and teach these guys a lesson.
Charles Siragusa, a former narcotics officer and friend of White's.
He'll come around, he says, and break your kneecaps. And with that, one guy laughed, and George would always have a little Billy with him. And this one guy sort of naked. George White turned around and whapped him across the neck with it. Then he picked up a pool stick and stuff.
Okay, so this is a narcotics cop. He's obviously letting this dude do all this shit. I'm listening at him. He ain't saying he stopped him. He let somebody hit with his little Billy with him, a billy club, a stick. And he just whacked somebody across the neck.
First, beating everybody up.
He made his point.
And he made his point.
He made his point. Look at this motherfucker.
George White
Look at
was
this
not a
creep.
man of understatement or subtleties.
Look at him.
His boss at OSS, Stanley Lovell, referred to him as deadly and dedicated.
And he got to keep doing this shit. This what my main thing be, y'all. That's why I say melanated earth, man. Yo, frequencies. We gotta meditate up. We gotta get these jokers is out here. They just hidden more because we're more distracted. You know what I'm saying?
In this note from White's diaries, it says, call Lovell regarding TD. TD was a rather transparent cover for Truth Drug. George White worked with the Truth Drug Committee here at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in the nation's capital. They experimented with mescaline, scopolamine, and marijuana on unwitting victims.
Damn, you heard that? Mescaline, ketamine, and marijuana on unwilling victims. That means, just imagine, like, okay, if anybody's ever smoked before, go back to your very first time getting high or on anything. Now, you knew you was about to do that. Imagine if you just woke up and you just was high. That shit gotta be scary as fuck. Like, you didn't know you was gonna do it. They made some type of maybe an edible or something and to get you high, just to monitor you and see what you do. Damn, man, imagine being on some ketamine. I've never been on it, but just imagine being on these hard drugs, mescaline and whatever he said. Let's go back. Let's get what he said.
Capital. They experimented with mescaline, scopolamine, and marijuana on...
Oh, shoot, he said scopolamine. I don't even know what that is. Mescaline, I heard of that, but mescaline, scopolamine, damn. What you doing to the people, man? What you doing?
Unwitting victims.
Unwilling victims.
The committee soon learned there was no easy panacea, no truth drug at this stage. But White and later colleagues would not stop trying. The goal remained the same. As this 1952...
So, who are these people that they're experimenting on? Y'all know how people been missing all the time. This ain't nothing new. When they got missing people all in Walmart, you see the little pictures. This ain't nothing new. It just wasn't no Walmart all the way back then. People be missing all the time. And then they experiment on them. Damn, man.
The CIA memo says the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will.
Damn.
And even against such fundamental laws of nature as self-preservation.
Why? Why you want to control somebody, man? What is wrong with these people? You seen dude is all overweight, fat, crazy, and now you want to control somebody? For what? How can that be like oh man, I went to school, I went through all this. I want to control people. Like, why, dude? What do you want to do that for? People sick, yo. They sick. They sick.
But it was a discovery here in Basel, Switzerland, at Sandoz Laboratories by Dr. Albert Hoffman that led the intelligence agencies of America to believe that they had found the panacea. The discovery was lysergic acid diethylamide, LSD.
Dang.
The film that you see is considered by many experts to be the closest illustration of the effects of a hallucinogenic.
Okay, so what they're showing, all this bright lights and all this dance and shit going on from the LSD, what they just created, and they're going to just give people who don't even know they finna get it. So imagine you just chilling one day and you wake up and you don't see nothing. Just like in the movies, it's just like a padded room and they're like, how do you feel? It's like, man, who the fuck are you? And you're hearing douche, douche, this shit. You seeing this shit right here.
Considered by many experts to be the closest illustration of the effects of a hallucinogenic.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
It was one of the first times that anybody had run into a powerful drug that was different.
Look, he looked like he don't care. He don't care either. They want to put the drug on you.
Anything else that they knew anything about.
John Gittinger, recently retired chief psychologist for the CIA. This is the first time Gittinger has been interviewed publicly.
We could disable a whole city by putting a very small amount on a water supply.
Why?
After all of these years of us, those of us who are involved in then looking for this secret drug, this was the only thing that began to look for the first time like it might be something like that.
You kind of smile.
The CIA's interest in LSD was intense. The worry was that the Russians would get hold of it. Were the Soviets into LSD?
I'm going to have to say I'm sure they were, but if you ask me to prove it, I've never seen any direct proof.
Sure they were,
But
but I
at
ain't
one
seen
point,
nothing.
intelligence information received from Switzerland said that Sandoz Laboratories was about to put 100 million doses of LSD on the open market.
Damn!
It caused enough concern within the agency that the United States was prepared to buy the entire supply. However, a slight mistake had been made. The mistake is made public for the first time.
I just found out on a new CIA document that there were no such large quantities of LSD on the market.
John Marks has filed numerous Freedom of Information suits against the CIA and has unearthed much new material. He is the author of The Search for the Manchurian Candidate, a history of intelligence agency work with mind control. He is a consultant for this report.
What happened is that there was a military attaché in Switzerland, an American officer, who got milligrams and kilograms mixed up. In other words, he made a mistake of thinking 1/1000th of a gram was the same as 1,000 grams, which is a mistake of 1,000,000 times. So when the CIA got the intelligence that there were 100 million doses on the market, in fact, there were 100 doses.
The man who would oversee the CIA's research into drugs and most of the agency's behavior programs is this man, Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist. Dr. Gottlieb declined ABC News' request for an interview. In their never-ending search for the miracle weapon, CIA operatives searched here in the remote mountain areas of southern Mexico for what up to then had been considered a myth, magic mushrooms. They used this man, a part-time chemist for the CIA, to dupe this man, a vice president of a bank and an amateur mycologist or mushroom expert, to try to get to the magic mushrooms and turn them into a drug. But it would be the amateur, R. Gordon Wasson and his colleagues, who would win the race and develop the drug psilocybin from the magic mushrooms.
We went into the Mazatec area, far from the highways, remote from Mexico City. There we found that rotten bagasse, as it's called, bagasso, covered with mushrooms. These mushrooms I didn't know, had never seen. They were the sacred mushrooms.
Wasson would also discover and record the ancient mystical rites of the mushrooms from a local shaman or magical priestess, Maria Sabina.
And we were seeing incredible sights. They would go slowly or they would go fast as I ordained. All your senses are rendered acute. We say that you see visions, you see hallucinations, but that doesn't begin to tell the story.
Yeah, nah, like if I can give my account of it, of the psilocybin, it is heightened senses, heightened everything. And if you're really deep into it, it can go. It can go. And it's as far as you take it. It's as far as you let it go.
The hallucinations are only part of it. You hear sounds, you smell things. The night was thrilling.
Your touch is sensitive.
Word of Wasson's discovery reached the CIA quickly. Dr. James Moore, a University of Delaware chemist, secretly served the CIA preparing deadly chemicals on short notice. Moore was instructed to get close to Wasson and accompany him on another trip to Mexico to get the magic mushrooms. Internal documents show the CIA felt a drug derived from the mushrooms could remain an agency secret. What in the world were they looking for with the magic mushrooms?
I think the best answer to that is that they were looking for fundamental information on compounds that would be capable of causing changes in behavior, changes in mental attitude.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider what would have happened if any of these substances were given to, say, unwitting people?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember having considered that specifically.
What the fuck you mean?
What if you... I trust perhaps you've thought about it.
Well, I haven't worried about it.
Damn!
Your question again, what would I have thought had I known that
any of these substances would
have been given to
unwilling people, motherfucker.
Unwitting persons.
Yeah.
You mean a hostile?
Yo, it's funny how this dude he don't know shit, but this nigga know how to damn do chemistry like a motherfucking fuck with people's head. But you ask him a question, hey man, you made me? Well, you know, people, man, what the fuck, nigga? Answer the question, chump. Damn, is you playing with our mind or what?
Unwitting persons.
Look at him.
You mean a hostile agent of another government?
No, I mean,
that was probably one of the things they had in mind.
Testing it out on an American citizen.
Yeah, nigga. That's what he's saying. Testing it out. Look at him. Why you looking? Body language.
An American citizen.
Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. He look first. Okay, look. Body language. He looking at him.
Probably one of the things they had in mind.
Testing it out on
American citizen. Look at his eyes. Oh shit. Damn. I don't know if I can answer that shit. You know. Come on, chemistry major. Say that.
I guess I must seem very, very cold-blooded about this,
yeah,
but
nigga.
I don't recall ever having been very much preoccupied with that issue.
Wow. Fuck you too, man.
But many drugs were tested in this way. A decision was made at the highest levels of the CIA to do testing on unwitting Americans. As one CIA document says, such testing would be operationally realistic. A former CIA official who worked on these programs describes for the first time how the decision was made. He did not wish to be filmed or recorded. Thus his remarks are read by someone else.
I think every last one of us felt sorry to attempt this kind of thing.
Okay, so this person don't even want to be, he don't want to be seen, and he don't want to talk. He wants somebody else to read his comments and responses. So let's go back and make sure that's what he said, because I want to make sure I ain't messing
Worked
it up.
on these programs describes for the first time how the decision was made. He did not wish to be filmed or recorded. Thus his remarks are read by someone else.
He didn't wish to be filmed or recorded, y'all.
I think every last one of us felt sorry to attempt this kind of thing. We knew we were crossing the line. Every decent kid knows he shouldn't steal, but he does it sometimes.
Nah, fuck that. You can't say it. You can't blame that shit. Every decent kid knows how to steal, but doesn't do it. Come on, man. Come on. You know stealing is wrong, and you do it sometimes is not the same thing as playing with a bunch of people's mind, man. You fucking with people's head that don't even know they being fucked with. That's fucked up, yo. Straight
Kid
up.
knows he shouldn't steal, but he does it sometimes. We knew damn well we didn't want anyone else to know what we were doing.
The decision was made to do testing on unwitting victims. It was decided they should be on the fringes of society because they were most vulnerable.
Who makes these decisions? Like, that's what we need to be going after.
It was the borderline underworld, prostitutes, drug addicts, and other small-timers who would be powerless to seek any kind of revenge in case they found out.
Oh, my God. This is premeditated, y'all. It's premeditated. So if you go get in your car right now that the government created or the car company created, and the speed limit that they created also is whatever it is, and you go 5, 10, 20 miles over, they get to give you a ticket. But they can go and play with people's head and premeditate what they're going to do. Whether they live or die, they don't give a shit. They can just go play around. And if they're only going to go after certain people because so you can't retaliate. Damn, y'all. Damn.
And as their predecessors had a decade earlier, the CIA turned to George White for help. White was now a high-ranking narcotics official, and by this time, the stories about George White were legendary.
So the waiter says, "You may help you, monsieur?" And George White was busy talking with me. Paid no attention to the waiter, so the waiter tapped him on the shoulder, says, "May I help you, monsieur?" George White turned around, whipped his gun out, and stuck it in the guy's face like this in this crowded restaurant.
And you a police. And you just let him do it.
George White did not mind bending the law, and he knew the street well. He was the ideal choice for what the CIA had in mind.
We were Ivy League, white, middle class.
Hear that? Ivy League, special group, white, special group, middle class. Okay.
Naive, totally naive about this, and he felt pretty expert. He knew the whores, the pimps, the people who brought in the drugs.
White set up so-called safe houses.
Listen to what he said. He knew the whores, the pimps, and the people who brought in the drugs. It's like our CIA is the gangsters of all gangsters. They doing all the gangster shit. Making new drugs, bringing in drugs, making sure it's pimps, hoes. They know them all. Going and finding people to experiment on. And then y'all get mad at brothers in the street because y'all brought in the drugs, right? Y'all bring in the drugs and then the guns and everything, and then wonder why folks be unaliving each other. While y'all over here the ones that you know why, because you're the reason. Then you make a whole bunch of other races hate us because you done made us damn crazy by controlling our mind with this foolishness. Damn.
This is for the CIA in New York, here in Greenwich Village. And later in San Francisco, in this hotel. And in an apartment atop Telegraph Hill with a commanding view of San Francisco Bay.
Dang.
While the existence of these safe houses was disclosed last year, details of what took place within them has not been told.
Okay. Break it down.
A former CIA official who worked in the safe houses reveals that they were used not only for drug testing, but to study sexual behavior and how it could be used to manipulate people.
We did quite a study of prostitutes and their behavior. How do you take a woman who is willing to use her body to get money out of a guy to get him to talk about things which are much more important, like state secrets?
Wait, hold on. I said again.
More important, willing to use her body to get money out of a guy to get him to talk about things which are much more important, like state secrets.
They just evil. They use
We
women
learned
to
a
get
lot
you.
about human nature in the bedroom. We started to pick up knowledge that could be used in operations.
There would be victims in all of this, but as the agency knew, they couldn't fight back. Some entries from George White's diaries. Clarice gets horrors. Janet, sky high. As one agency memo says, we have no answer to the moral question. The safe houses were not the only testing ground.
So basically, they had pimps. They would have these women that they would like basically have undercover messing with men that they thought was, you know, because most men that are into science and stuff can't find a girl, so they'll pay for it because they got money, and they'll get these. So when they go try to pay for these little whores or whatever, they go and try to get with these whores, and then fuck around, and these whores is really just there. They're undercover. These dudes don't know it, and they think they just talking to some random chick, but she's getting information. She probably wired up to getting the information that they want. Man, damn, they the gangsters, man. What we doing? They the gangsters.
Millions of dollars would be spent on LSD research at universities throughout the country.
Why?
And word would begin to spread on campus about this so-called mind-blowing drug. And suddenly, there was the counterculture of the 60s.
I give the CIA a total credit for sponsoring and initiating the entire consciousness movement, counterculture events of the 1960s.
Dr. Timothy Leary, the 1960s Johnny Appleseed of LSD.
The CIA funded and supported and encouraged hundreds of young psychiatrists to experiment with this drug. The fallout from that was that the young psychologists began taking it themselves, discovering that it was an intelligence-enhancing, consciousness-raising experience. I know that some of the studies that was that the young psychologists began taking it themselves, discovering that it was an intelligence-enhancing, consciousness-raising experience.
I know that some of the studies in which the CIA had supported used as subjects people who later became strong proselytizers of LSD. So, you know, in that sense, yes, I think it did sustain the perpetuation of the use of the drug. And it's rather ironic, isn't it?
The counter case that I would make in relationship to that is to remember that the people who were doing the research were people who would be doing the research regardless of who was the sponsor. I don't think any...
So, hold on. So, he's saying they would have did this regardless if they were sponsored or not. Is that what he's trying to say? Let's go back. I want to make sure
were people who would be people who were doing the research. Were people who would be doing the research regardless of who was the sponsor.
Damn.
I don't think anybody working in that time in the remotest ever thought that it would blow up into the kind of thing that it did.
History will judge the role of the CIA and other intelligence agencies in unwittingly contributing to the counterculture of the 60s through their intense interest in LSD and other hallucinogenics. But for the moment, at least, the argument can be made that the CIA helped usher in the age of Aquarius.
Dang. People was happy in their own world.
ABC News Close-Up.
Think about it. Back then, when they got on it, you know, there wasn't. It was new, and it wasn't that many. You know, like the distractions today, it'll take you somewhere else. But them, it took them more to the earth. So they started getting more, you know, back to earth, like back to natural. That's why all of them was naked in the pond and shit. They skinny dipping. They feeling like I'm one with this shit. Because that's what the LSD kind of makes you feel like. If it puts you in the feeling of oneness. You know what I'm saying?
Up will continue in a moment.
Okay, let's go.
Being careful about my body doesn't just mean major things like regular breast exams. I'm even careful about pain relievers.
Okay, so the mind control here, she's buttoning up her shirt. That automatically takes your mind into what she's doing. And she's like, breast exams. You're like, oh shit, she's talking about some. Oh, and then now she's gonna talk about pain relievers, but they don't talk about the side effects and shit. This is all like you're supposed to not even be in the pain. You're not even supposed to think pain. But when she says that, it makes you think it. This is all control, mind control right here.
Plain aspirin sometimes upset my stomach, so I use Bufferin. It adds protection.
I'm careful about what goes into my body. Bufferin gives me an added relief.
See how they do it? The first thing she says out her mouth is, I'm careful about what I put in my body. So you like, okay, this person's careful about what they put in their body. And she's holding an apple because that says fruit, vegetable, health. And then she's like, Bufferin, whatever the fuck that is. Hold on, let's go back.
It adds protection.
I'm careful about what goes into my body. Bufferin gives me an added relief action I want. Tylenol doesn't.
See? She's talking about Bufferin gives me what I want. Tylenol doesn't. Well, what the fuck is Bufferin? And what's in it? And what does it give you that you don't want? How do you know? You're not talking about that. You're basically just comparing the two. And I don't hear about Bufferin no more, but I sure hear about Tylenol a lot more still to this day.
Only one leading tablet has both an added relief action in many cases that Tylenol never provides and protection ingredients. Bufferin.
It doesn't say the ingredients and protection ingredients. What are you protecting from? I'm telling y'all, man, they be mind controlling. Everything is mind control.
Now I'm careful to get both with Bufferin.
Your sink traps clogged with grease. Use Crystal Drano.
I'll pour in liquid plumber.
Don't. It may not work on that grease.
So they're acting like God is talking to her, right? Shaking the whole house and shit. And telling her to use Drano, which is poisonous as fuck. You gonna put that in your pipes? Really? The pipes that you drink out of and take a shower with? You gonna put that Drano poison down your shit, man? Something that can just melt away all the gut. That shit is meant to, like, if you got a clog in your pipes, that shit's meant to melt that shit away. You gonna put that shit, you gonna do that?
Grease clog.
No?
Crystal Drano will. Look, liquid plumber's quiet. It's not melting that grease.
But Drano is. It broke through.
Why? Because they showed us an illustration? We're not seeing it really work. They're showing us a cartoon, man. Some type of illustration. They just made this one work and didn't make that one work. They in your head, man.
Will Drano hurt metal pipes?
Head.
No.
So liquid plumber didn't break that grease clog. I'm switching to Drano.
To make clogs go, better use Drano.
All in your head.
Saturday, live on ABC. The Forest Hills Men's Invitational from the legendary West Side Tennis Club.
Look at that. Show that nice big building. Oh, God, nice tennis club. Oh, they get us into sports. We're not supposed to care about this kind of shit, man, unless we care about it. But they make you care about it. They show, look at this, look.
Then live, third
golf,
round coverage of the most prestigious ladies golf event.
Look, show celebration. They didn't show when she missed that motherfucker, right? When she was crying. They don't show that. They showing happiness.
Women's Open title. And red hot Nancy Lopez shoots for her elusive first Open victory. And on ABC's Wide World of Sports, rodeo excitement from the Wild West. Plus high speeds, high thrills.
Everything sounds like excitement, fun. High speeds, high thrills, high. They're here. They got you wanting to watch. They're advertising in a way to make you stay intrigued. Is the lady's going to hit the golf ball right? Is she going to win? Oh, is this bull rider going to stay on the bull? Oh, well, if you don't like that, well, what about this boat race? They keep you distracted.
Your plane action, championship tennis, golf, and ABC's
tennis,
Wide
golf,
World of Sports. Saturday.
Everything. Stay tuned in to the box. Stay in the box. Stay inside of here. Just watch what we got going on. Come on, y'all.
Wait.
Wednesday on 8 is Enough.
We get the buggy fever.
The Bradford
more
girls go
distraction.
disco crazy.
Hey, hiya, hun. What do you say we get down?
And the summer's off to a red-hot start. And Charlie's Angels play the horses,
I want to be a jockey.
but end up in a dead heat with...
They was trying to get your ass to stay at home and be a homebody. Don't go outside and get outside of your box. The box, which is your house. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell everybody, the Ken tool box is a rectangle, right? So your box is in your house. You stuck in the box. And they don't want you leaving. And guess what they got you looking at? Another box. A TV is a box. You stuck in the box. You got to get outside the box. So then when you go walking around the house, you going through your cousin, the rectangle, the doorways. You just always in boxes. Then, hey, we're going to keep going. Let's go. Come on.
Then, the ghost of Jack the Ripper haunts the back
Here
streets
goes some more.
Vegas.
Tomorrow,
Look at that.
starting at 8.
Just stay looking in the box. Stay here. Don't go outside. Don't pay attention to nothing we doing scientifically while we over here creating all this weirdo shit to fuck with your brain and control you like this, keeping you into this, right? Come on, man. Look at this shit. Got us, yo.
Covering a span of history such as we are in this report, one can get sidetracked by the so-called glamour and mystery of espionage work or by the exotic qualities of some drugs. But what you can't lose sight of is what all of this would mean in terms of individual human beings. There would be deaths, there would be long-lasting and harmful effects. The best-known case is that of this man, Frank Olson, a chemist employed by the Army Chemical Corps, who in 1953 was slipped LSD unknowingly at a meeting with CIA officials. Shortly after that, Olson went into severe depression.
Imagine LSD, man. They showed you what it would look like. A bunch of shit going on and moving and senses heightened to know, and you didn't know it. It'd be different if somebody told you, "Hey, man, I'm about to give you this stuff. You're gonna be seeing some visuals. It's gonna mess with you a little bit." It'd be different if that was the case. You just wake up and you just like, what the fuck? Oh shit. Man, I can only imagine it putting you into depression and more.
He ended his life at this New York hotel by diving through a shaded closed window in his 10th floor room. Frank Olson was the first known fatality in the CIA's LSD program. Olson left behind a widow, Alice, and 3 children. But it would be years before they learned the real story of his death.
That's messed up. That's terrible.
Shortly after his suicide, Alice Olson was visited by Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, the man who had administered the drug, and by Robert Lashbrook, his deputy, who was the last person with Frank Olson the night of his death.
It was probably to check me out and see whether I was handling myself and handling the situation, whether I was hysterical. And I'm sure they left the house feeling ever so much better because I had been gracious and hospitable to them, so that I must have played right into their hand and made them feel fine.
23 years later, how did you feel about that meeting?
My anger was unbelievable at how I had been duped for this length of time, and the anguish which was unnecessary.
Anyone who knew during all of those years never told Alice Olson the real story of her husband's death. She would discover it by accident more than 2 decades later. In essence, it was a 22-year-long cover-up. Lyman Kirkpatrick was Inspector General of the CIA.
Like, how come they get to do that stuff, man? You go in like Alabama somewhere, you get caught with a seed of marijuana, you going to jail forever damn near. But these motherfuckers can go and take a man away that was a family. He had a wife and 3 kids. They can kill him. He can commit suicide. They can do what they want to do, or unalive him, and then he can, and it's okay. Come on, man. That's ugly, man. Like, they just get to do so much to us, and we're as citizens, we're just pawns, man. As a citizen, you pay the tax, you pay for all this stuff. They use tax money to do these experiments on you. Damn.
At the time of Frank Olson's death. But had not the Olson case occurred within the secret confines of the CIA, would not this case have been a prosecutable case? Perhaps manslaughter.
I would think definitely prosecutable, and certainly from the point of view.
So why isn't it not? Because you get to be the CIA. So what? We need to make up our own group so we can go back kicking off in their ass. Shit, man.
Of Mr. Olson, why it should probably have been actionable.
Frank Olson's suicide slowed down the CIA's testing of LSD and other drugs, but only momentarily.
Right.
The CIA was not the only government agency interested in the possibilities LSD and other drugs presented for mind control. The Army Chemical Corps first started working with the CIA and then branched off on its own. It too tested drugs on unwitting victims, and a death would result.
Damn.
The case of this man, Harold Blower, a tennis pro, seen here with
another family man. Yo, these people is crazy, yo. Why y'all messing with people? Why y'all bothering people, man? Y'all just get to pick random people. Sound like he's about to say a tennis pro.
result. The case of this man, Harold Blower, a tennis pro, seen here with his daughter Elizabeth, is well known. In 1953, Blower was a private patient at the New York State Psychiatric Institute. He was given 5 injections of a mescaline derivative that was being tested secretly for the Army Chemical Corps. With the 5th injection, Harold Blower died. As with the old Corps. With the 5th injection, Harold Blower died.
God damn, 5 injections? Hold on. Jeez. Five injections is crazy, man. 5 injections. No wonder of course he passed away.
As with the Olson case, a 22-year cover-up followed. Until finally, the Army admitted the real details of Blower's death.
And when they admit it, they should all be prosecuted. Damn, man, we can't trust nobody. You can't. How you gonna trust your government, military when they're doing corrupt stuff like this? They're doing corrupt stuff and it's documented. We're looking at it.
Since the initial news stories of Harold Blower's death, close to 5,000 documents, previously classified, have been released by the Army and obtained by ABC News. They provide valuable insight into Army activities at the time of Blower's death and where the Army went from there with their own drug testing program.
But my thing is, why don't they get punished? It's like they got, yo, man, we're all slaves, man. We're all prisoners in this prison. Earth. Whatever it is, I mean, they got us, man. Come on, man. How come they get to do stuff and we make one little mistake, you could get locked up forever. Doing something that they create the drug, put it in the street, and then we use it because they forced it out in the street, and then now we get addicted to it, and then they lock you up if you have it. Yo, man, what are we doing? What is this shit, man? What is this? What am I looking at?
From a previously classified deposition of Dr. James Cattell, who administered the mescaline derivative, on the purpose of the drug testing, to produce symptoms similar to those that you see in schizophrenia.
Damn.
On how much the patient knew about all this. We didn't delineate all the possibilities of what might happen because then you contaminate your experiment.
Damn.
Cattell then relates that he never even knew what drug he had given Harold Blower because of the secrecy of the Army experiments. We didn't know whether it was dog piss. This was secret. This was a secret. We weren't in on it. We asked Blower's daughter Elizabeth for her reaction.
Why would you give somebody something that you don't even know what it is? Like, what if you gave them something and their head exploded right in your face? I'm just saying, like, what if you gave them something and it started vomiting on you? You know what I'm saying?
What? How can anybody react to that? I mean, that is so far from what you'd expect from a human being, never mind a doctor, never mind a professional specialist who's supposed to care about people's minds. It's unbelievable.
Ain't it?
A suit filed by Elizabeth Barrett against the Army Chemical Corps is now pending in federal court. Other Army experiments continued on mental patients around the country. Work done at the Tulane Medical Center in New Orleans involved several drugs, hallucinogenics, and electrodes implanted in the brain. The chief researcher was Dr. Russell Monroe, now head of the psychiatry department at the University of Maryland. These are various progress reports.
Sucking on a pipe, high as hell. Experimenting on people. Damn.
It's written by Dr. Monroe and recently obtained by ABC News. From one of the progress reports, a report of a woman who had electrodes implanted in the brain and was then given LSD and other drugs. She became agitated, cried, lapsed into a trance-like state.
Again, she don't know what's going on. That'd be scary.
Felt as if she were about to have a convulsion.
Right, you seeing all this shit.
Experienced waves of darkness and light.
Yep, blood flowing. Can't run from it because once the effects is on you.
Bizarre sensations in her neck and legs. Said somebody was trying to manipulate her body. At this point, Dr. Monroe wrote that the woman was obviously having paranoid ideas.
No,
as a layperson,
paranoid ideas.
Perhaps you can enlighten me. What therapeutic effect would the type of experiment that I just described have on a patient?
Well, the therapeutic effect would be indirect.
Was this patient aware that she was being given LSD?
Yes, I mean, they
Don't lie, nigga.
were told that they would be given some medication, and they should have
Specifically LSD?
Right.
Well, we told them...
it's a yes or no, motherfucker. It's yes or no. Do they know they getting LSD? Yes or no? What the hell? I thought this dude's supposed to be smart as shit, right? You supposed to be smart. You supposed to be a chemist and all this shit. You can't answer regular ass questions, nigga. What happened?
We're told... Yes, I mean, they were told that they would be given some medication.
Nigga, was they told LSD?
Well, we told them, I don't think that they would have even known what LSD was.
No shit!
At the time. They were told that they were going to they would be given some medications which might make them feel worse.
Dr. Monroe, what do you think the Army
What
Chemical
the fuck
Corps
am
was
I looking at?
for in all of this testing?
They were looking for an incapacitating agent. An agent that would not harm the person permanently, but would incapacitate them temporarily.
Damn.
That seemed like a humanistic way to...
This shit ain't fucking funny, nigga. Look at him. Face ass nigga, man. These the niggas that need their ass whooped, man. Playing with our people. Just the people. Playing with the minds. Look at him. He's laughing about it.
Take them temporarily. That seemed like a humanistic way to wage a war, if war is necessary.
Let's go.
James Thornwell was given LSD by Army intelligence in 1961. This time, it was no experiment. This time, the express purpose was to peel back Thornwell's brain.
Wow, so you experiment on your people, and then you take my people, and you gonna peel back the brain of them. Just go in. This ain't no experiment. We putting it to action.
Bear any secret within it. This time, the Army had gone operational. Thornwell, as reported on ABC last January, was an Army private stationed in Orléans, France. Classified documents were missing from his unit. Thornwell became a suspect. His 2.5-month interrogation included administration of sodium pentothal, hypnosis, isolation, and deprivation of sleep. Army documents obtained by ABC News refer to this interrogation of sodium pentothal. His 2.5-month interrogation included administration of sodium pentothal, hypnosis.
They fucking with his head.
Isolation.
If you ever been in isolation before unwillingly, like if you ever been to jail and they put you in solitary confinement and I'm talking about, they're not saying the isolation they're giving you. Just imagine being in a dark room where ain't no lights, no nothing. You don't know if the sun's up, down. You don't know if it's hot, cold out. You don't know shit. This shit fucks with your head. So isolation.
And deprivation of sleep.
Deprivation of sleep. I worked a job overnight. It used to be one of them 9 to 6 jobs. And I used to have to go sweep parking lots. And that sleep debt, you start seeing stuff that ain't there, yo. I was seeing stuff. I had to quit that job. Because I was seeing, it was scary, man. I'd be driving and the trees started looking like fucking dinosaurs and shit. No joke. Like, I'm seeing shit that ain't there. From 9 to about 12, 1 o'clock, it's cool. Around that 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it's dark. I'm seeing shit. You know what I'm saying? My body hadn't got used to it. So, damn, they just fucking with this dude head, man.
Army documents obtained by ABC News refer to this interrogation as conventional.
Oh, God.
Despite the severe questioning, Army intelligence was getting nowhere with Thornwell, and it was decided to slip him LSD.
Dang.
For 16 years, Thornwell never knew what had hit him.
Tell me about the acid.
I'd rather not. It's a bad trip.
Not.
It's a bad trip.
Look, it's like they're trying to take his mind back somewhere. And he's looking left to his own left. That means he's going back there. He's recalling.
That was a bad trip.
Yeah.
The pain was so excruciating. Felt like somebody was sticking me with 1,000,000 pins. You know, just everywhere. Oh, it just...
Dang. Took him back there. Playing with the mind. Damn. Sorry, brother. I'm sorry they had to mess with you like that. They just playing around with your mind. Damn.
You want to stop for me?
I walked around.
You want to stop?
Oh, I can talk. I lived through it. I lived through it.
No charges were ever brought by the Army against Thornwell. He was discharged for psychological disorders. But
because of y'all, and nothing happens to y'all. Y'all get to just, hey, well, that didn't work the way we wanted it to, or it did work the way you wanted it to. Y'all ain't shit, man.
Army psychiatric evaluation of Thornwell obtained by ABC News, one which was done prior to Thornwell having been given LSD, says of him, fairly cooperative, oriented, alert, and gave no evidence of psychosis or depression. From the Army's point of view, this type of LSD interrogation was a success.
Dang.
Other documents refer to the exploitability of interrogation subjects, cracking them, keeping them off balance mentally, and providing an economical, speedy, and productive aid to interrogation. From James Thornwell's point of view, it was no success. Thornwell still has serious problems. He's run through 2 marriages. He maintains he can't hold a job, can't concentrate, has nightmares, and feels socially and emotionally isolated. Last fall, Thornwell filed suit against the government in federal court.
What happened?
In a moment, we will examine the closest experimentation to brainwashing that we have uncovered.
Okay, so far, man, what I'm witnessing is the government doing whatever they want to do on us and the people. It really sucks because it's like we just gotta do it. We just gotta let them do it to us, and they don't get in trouble. They just get to keep doing what they want to do, and we over here paying taxes and stuff. It's like, man, we the masses, and they got us so, like, if I was to say all this information to people, man, they'd be like, man, what you talking about? Who cares? They rather look at their phone and feel good. They got the masses all dopamined up. They found it out. They figured it out. Shit, this mind control shit worked. It worked, man.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Is something wrong, Will?
You pick up a paper these days, you learn life isn't as simple as it used to be, and neither's food.
Is that why you eat grape nut cereal?
Yep, you couldn't ask for a simpler cereal. Wheat and barley, vitamins added, no preservatives.
Yeah,
sure looks simple. It's got a natural nutty taste.
What's good for breakfast, guys?
How about something nice and simple?
Grape nuts, the simple cereal.
Oh, that's mind control, y'all. The commercials is controlling your mind. They're telling you to eat something straight and simple, not all this craziness. They're telling you, they're programming you. Maybe you don't want to eat. Maybe you don't want to eat breakfast. Maybe you don't want to eat till 12. They're telling you, man, you got to eat this shit. Grape nuts. The simple cereal.
Maxwell House's coffee you can count on.
Maxwell House, good to the last drop.
They all happy.
Good every time. Good coffee. Good to the last drop.
Look at it. Everybody happy.
Maxwell House, coffee you can count on.
man,
Always
they
smells
playing with your
good,
brain.
always tastes good, always good to the last drop.
Good to the last drop.
Good news.
Good to the last drop. Maxwell House.
Wow.
ABC News Close-Up will continue in a moment.
More mind
Special
control.
baseball. The Yankees take on the Angels Friday night on
Look at that.
ABC.
This is a heavy-duty stick-up.
Look at this dude.
It's a good place for it.
New
heavy-duty stick-ups from Airwick for small places with big odors.
This is David Shoemaker in the news at this hour. District police have charged a young Northeast woman with the weekend kidnapping of that day-old baby. Sources say the woman was pregnant and afraid she'd lost her own child in the accident, and that's what motivated the kidnapping. 'Twas the night before Skylab, and we'll have the latest on its fate and ours. Testimony before Congress today on battered wives. Some of the victims are battered wives. A rock and roll star put on probation for income tax evasion. The condition is he must put on 1,000 hours of concerts for charities. And we'll be talking with a local teenager who won a gold medal at the Pan Am Games. Join us at 11.
Wow. All I saw was distraction. They lock you in by talking about some fear stuff about babies getting stolen, they found, and it's just like they're in your head the whole time. This is all, if you're just sitting here looking at this stuff, it's a signal playing and it locks you in. You're in it, and they just got your attention. You're just like, it's mind control.
For the sun.
The music gets you.
For the sun.
Visuals. Happy.
Else tastes or feels quite
Mountain
like
Dew, one of the worst drinks you could drink.
Goes down as smooth.
Look at it.
Like a soft breeze on a lazy afternoon.
Lazy afternoon. I don't know what's lazy about riding no camel. Them things hard to ride.
By far, the most chilling experiments we have uncovered took place at this Gothic estate called Ravens Crag, halfway up Mount Royal in Montreal. It houses the Allen Memorial Institute of Psychiatry of McGill University.
Okay.
It was here that the CIA funded a series of experiments, severe experiments.
You know when they say the CIA funds it, they talking about your taxpaying dollars, right? So we're funding this shit. They're just taking our money and doing whatever they want. And this looked like some scary movie shit with this building. Look, let's see where they're going.
The work was done by the Institute's then director, Dr. Ewan Cameron. It is the closest experimentation to brainwashing yet disclosed. His work, unprecedented in psychiatry, consisted of 3 areas which he called sleep therapy, psychic driving, and the ultimate depatterning.
Damn.
Dr. Maurice Dongier, current head of the Allen Memorial Institute.
In his psychic driving, so-called type of therapy, he would give the patient intensive electric treatment in order to make the patient regress deeply, become forgetful, and then he would attempt to implant new ideas.
I'm just looking at this guy, right? I'm just thinking to myself, how was he as a kid? I'm just looking at his old face and trying to put him in a young body, young face. And what made him want to go and start thinking about controlling somebody else? Not controlling his own self, you know, doing things to make his own self better, but why do you want to control other people?
In the mind of the patient.
Now, to a layman, it would appear that Dr. Cameron was trying to take the slate and wipe it clean, the slate being the mind. In other words, brainwashing.
Exactly, that's a very good comparison.
Brainwashing.
Why didn't you just fucking say that? Good comparison, nigga. Talk in layman's terms.
Val Orlico of Winnipeg, Canada, the wife of a member of the Canadian Parliament, was a patient of Dr. Cameron's. She entered the Allen Memorial Institute because of severe depression. She describes for the first time publicly the LSD therapy and psychic driving treatment that she was given by Dr. Cameron.
And then the drug began to take hold very rapidly because it was an IV injection. And things became very furry and very frightening. And had a lot of sensations that it's very difficult to recall. Nobody explained it to me. Nobody ever asked me if I was willing to do it or anything.
That's some bullshit. Look at what y'all do this to y'all own people. They crazy, man. These people are crazy, man. Is it that deep? You think it's cool to just go mess around in somebody's head like that? This lady said she didn't even know what was going on. She just minded her business one day, and then all of a sudden she IV'd up, and they putting LSD and shit in it. Man, I can only imagine, man. I feel that's
nobody explained it to me. Nobody ever asked me if I was willing to do it or anything.
He had this feeling that he would be able to get through the resistance of illness and to reach deep changes very quickly.
Did he?
I don't think that when you look at that in retrospect, the hopes that he had have been in any way fulfilled.
Huh? Go back. Nah.
But Cameron...
Anyway, retrospect.
Did he?
And to reach deep changes very quickly.
Did he?
I don't think that when you look at that in retrospect, the hopes that he had have been in any way fulfilled.
So he didn't get this stuff done very quickly. He didn't get them to think he basically been experimenting on people for a very long time. And it kept going. It didn't work. He failed.
But Cameron would plunge on. The next step was what he called psychic driving. This involved almost endless tape-recorded messages and more drugs for the patient. Cameron wrote that this was the way to make direct controlled changes in personality.
I thought this was the coldest and most impersonal treatment that anybody could give to anybody in the world.
Right, just repeating the same thing.
And I became more and more despondent and more angry. I just became so despondent that I thought I can't live like this any longer. And I thought I would just go out and throw myself underneath the cars on McGregor.
I can imagine if they just playing the same shit over and over and over again while you on this LSD trip and it's just bun or whatever they're saying. I don't know. And it's just playing. I mean, damn, man, what are you trying to? Are you? Damn, these people are weird, man.
I stood on the curb of that street and I stood there and I thought, okay, go. Okay, go. And then I thought, what if you're not killed? What if you're just maimed? What if you don't die and you live and you can't even talk anymore? And I couldn't do it.
The most severe technique Cameron used was depatterning. He described it as breaking up the existing patterns of behavior by means of intensive electroshock therapy with prolonged periods of sleep. He carried out these experiments in something he called the sleep rooms.
People in there were like babies. They cried and they were very disoriented. And we were very afraid of the sleep room. We used to walk very carefully against the side of the corridor that was opposite the sleep room with our backs to the wall when we'd go by.
That sounds like a scary movie. Like when they be them patients in there and they've been experimenting on, they coming back and you go in that room, you go in that haunted house, that haunted whatever, and these people be waking, they do the scary shit. But what I'm saying, walking on the wall, you don't know if you don't know what's going on. You just like, okay, this wall here, so I'm gonna just slide my ass all the way. I'm not laughing at him, man. I'm laughing because it's fucked up.
Cameron used this combined sleep electroshock treatment on patients as long as 30 days. One patient he kept asleep for 65 days. Cameron retired, and his successor, Dr. Robert Cleghorn, ordered a follow-up study on the patients treated with Cameron's depatterning method.
It showed that it was no more beneficial in its result than the use of more conservative methods.
So basically, he did all that shit for fun, man. No reason. No, didn't get no results. He just kept pushing it. He pushed somebody to 65 days, man. Shocking them and keeping them in the sleep room. He pushed somebody 65 days and didn't get no results. That shows like, oh yeah, this was good. Like, man, this is terrible.
The follow-up study showed that 60% of those who had been depatterned still had amnesia for periods of anywhere from 6 months to 10 years. That's quite a memory loss, isn't it?
Yeah. That is a memory loss. Indeed it is. It's I think more than desirable.
In retrospect, does Dr. Cameron's experimentation and his treatment appear harsh?
I would say yes.
Yes, motherfucker.
This forceful type of approach that I was describing to you is definitely, it can be said that it's harsh.
Very harsh.
I wouldn't call it harsh. I would say it was harder on the staff than it was on the patients because these people had to be fed and they...
You fucked with them. It's harder on the staff than it is the patients. The patients was being patients. You're putting all this shit in them, making them crazy, and you mad because they kicking your ass? Good for your punk ass.
Had to be cared for, and they had to be given sufficient fluid and
beat
food
your ass.
and toileted and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
it was
fuck you.
a very difficult thing for the staff to follow these patients properly and see that they did well.
Well, I'm glad he was concerned for the staff. But damn it all, I wouldn't. I could have maybe had a different kind of life.
Yeah, you would have had a different life, sweetheart. She would have had a different life had you been knocking all around in her head, talking about the staff. Man, they're trying to get away. You fucked with them. What you do? Damn, man, these dudes are sick, and they're making sick drugs.
That makes me angry and sad, and I don't know how to explain how I feel. Really, I just.
How did you feel when you learned that Dr. Cameron's experimentation was financed by the CIA?
Well, I thought, I can't even use the word that I thought, because I thought, that bastard. And he was too smart. He knew who he was working for. And, excuse me, but I
just feel for people, you know. I just feel like that's ugly, man. No matter what the person, I mean, I don't animals, everything. I don't like when I see people go hunting and they go and take a picture with the animal, the passed away animal. I think that's kind of messed up. You know, like, dang, man, it's already dead, dude. You didn't have to take a picture with it. Like, I don't like a lot of shit. This right here to me is a form of bullying. Like, it's gonna mess with somebody that's not willing. It's gonna do it anyway. It's just whack, yo. Straight up.
You know, I just can't, sometimes I can't believe it, and yet I know it's true.
If you had the opportunity to say something to the people at the Central Intelligence Agency who financed this study, what would you say?
I realize the CIA is a very important organization, and they have a very important job to do.
No, they don't.
But God, it surely doesn't have to be done on people who are totally incapable of knowing what's happening or having any defense against it. And I can't imagine the mentality of people who would do this.
Right.
I just can't.
As for Dr. Cameron, he died in 1966 while mountain climbing. A colleague wrote of Cameron, for him the ends justified the means. And when one is dealing with the waste of human potential, it is easy to adopt this stance. Dr. Cameron seemed ideally suited for what the CIA had in mind.
Y'all think he really died mountain climbing, or did they kill him? Excuse me, y'all. Y'all think he died mountain climbing for real, or did they unalive him? Did they get rid of him? You know how the CIA be. No mind control commercials, y'all. Here we go.
America is adapting to the shape of things to come. Triumph TR7 with 5-speed transmission or optional automatic. Wide steel belted radials.
Shiny, they gotta make it shiny.
Front end spoiler. Rack and pinion steering. Triumph TR7. No other sports car looks like it. No other sports car drives like it. Triumph TR7.
They in your head. Because if you was really to think, okay, yeah, the Triumph TR7, no car drives like it, no. Why don't they just make all cars dope? See, they get in your head. They got you focused on wanting that car. But my thought is, shit, why is there a bad car? Why is there a good car? Why aren't all cars the best that cars could possibly be? So that can actually help humanity. Why does there gotta be this model and that model? Why can't there just be the model? And all cars work beautifully the same. They don't break down. They all, you know what I'm saying? Why you gotta, you know, they get in your head. They got you thinking about this car.
Hey, don't worry. They just got lucky. I'm sorry. I let us down.
Forget it. We'll beat him next week.
No, I really let us down.
Come on. How about a Michelob Light, huh?
Michelob makes a light beer? Sure.
The good taste of Michelob Light.
Everybody
Don't
knows
just
beer is
compare it
gross.
to other light beers. Compare it.
Beer is gross, liquor is gross, y'all. I'm just here to tell you, if you ain't had a drink, that shit nasty as hell. But they talking about the great taste. Yeah, you have to build a taste for that shit. The very first time anybody has drunken beer or liquor, we know that shit gross.
To your regular beer, it's that good.
This Michelob Light is great. Hey, you know what our real problem was today? Yeah.
They're so They know how to program our minds so well that we'll say some shit that's nasty tastes good, y'all.
We're terrible.
Good taste runs in the family.
And then they beat your frontal lobe with laughter and music. They use it all at once. They got smiles, laughter, they got music going. You won't think about that shit like, damn, man, this is beer. Number one, why am I drinking this shit? This don't do nothing but really fuck my liver and shit up. Like, and you know, just because I'm having a bad day, this is temporary. This is just a temporary fix to get my mind off of some things. But really, there's no such thing as a bad day because you got to experience another part of life. Another day. Whether you won, lost, whatever, it was another experience, man. And you'll come up out of it. We human. We gonna figure it out.
The many roles I play call for many hairstyles. So I use hot curlers, blow dryers, things that can be brutal to hair. I switched from one conditioner to another looking for help. Then came Alberto VO5 hot oil treatment. It works just like a salon hot oil treatment, but takes less time and money. I just heat a tube, smooth it in, and shampoo. My hair's left silky, shiny, more manageable than I ever dreamed.
Yeah, right.
Alberto VO5 hot oil treatment. I'll never switch again.
Yeah, of course you won't.
Thursday.
Another distraction to get your hair done.
Things over this morning.
There's a scandal in the 12th when Wojo gets a roommate.
Hi.
In a Barney Miller special.
I'm a prisoner of my biological urges.
Sorry to hear that.
Then authorities say this Texas motorcycle gang murdered a federal judge.
People are always scared of something they don't understand, and they don't understand us, so they're scared.
Geraldo Rivera investigates dope, death, and the banditos on 2020.
Thursday, starting at 9, 8 Central and Mountain on ABC.
It was the Cold War, and especially the trial of Joseph Cardinal Mindszenty, who was forced to testify in a Hungarian court that he was a spy. And then later, the Korean War, with the coerced and mainly fraudulent confessions of American servicemen.
My information took place on the...
That would spark intense interest in intelligence circles about brainwashing.
Yeah.
The CIA secretly commissioned a study of communist brainwashing methods at the Cornell University Medical Center. A leader of that study was Dr. Lawrence Hinkle. He explains first the Russian method of controlling and breaking a person.
Absolutely isolated from everyone else, with one man whose job it is to get you to write the extent to which you are a criminal. In this setting, you can get people to do most anything, do you see? Because you don't have to lay a hand on them. And by the time you get through and you go up before the judge, the fellow says, were you a spy? He says, yes, I was a spy. The Chinese never really had this kind of a state police system. They would get him in and all this...
Hold on. Final little 15 minutes. All right, we back. Let's go.
This fellow does is ask you to write, rewrite, and talk to him about your whole life.
Graduated from pilot training in 1949.
While the purpose of the study was to find out about communist brainwashing techniques, CIA documents show that the agency was interested in developing mind control methods of its own to precondition and control Chinese living in this country to be sent back to their homeland as CIA agents. What do you think they were looking for?
Well, I think they weren't looking for agents or anything like that.
Yet the agency's perception of the work you were doing, in CIA documents we have examined, it says that the project that was being done here, they intended to use...
He looked like he caught. Look how he's like, yeah. His mouth stuck open. It looked like he caught. Let's listen.
Everything learned about the new agents to induce them to, quote, to perform acts of a complex, purposeful nature.
Yeah, but that was never done.
The effects of which may be out of keeping with the individual's previous behavior.
That sort of thing was never done.
Yes, the fuck it was.
Those people were not, that was, when they first came here, the first people they sent up to see us, you see, were operational type people from the CIA with some rather wild ideas.
Okay, this is their perception of it, if I could just continue.
No, it wasn't their perception of it either.
How you gonna tell me what their perception is? They wrote it, you fool. You see, you can't get by me with that shit, man. Hell
dangerous to his being, contrary to any previous conscious...
Yeah, you understand. Why you cutting them off? That you see the behavior? See, if somebody wants to listen to you and they want to be honest with you, they're gonna listen. He starts, no, that's not what happened. No, stop that. No. See, he don't want you to know. Motherfucker, I can read body language.
Wild ideas.
Okay, this is their perception of it, if I could
No,
just
it wasn't
continue.
their perception of it.
See what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't
Dangerous to his being, contrary
Yeah,
to
I
any previous
understand that,
consciously
but
expressed
you see,
intentions and
now
interests,
here,
contrary to the good of the
no.
individual, and subversive to the goals for which he is
Yeah, I
consciously
understand
working.
all this talk.
What's not all this talk, fool? It's the truth. And you don't understand shit. You just want to do your little work on people. We should get to go put work on them and see how psychological, how they respond.
The situation was, you see, those things were never done because of wise people on both sides.
What?
We not able to do this nor interested in it.
Stop lying.
They were, though.
Some of the low-level people were, but the high-level people were not, to tell you the truth.
But documents clearly show that the CIA was attempting to develop agents over whom they had as much control as possible. Agents who would perform tasks contrary to their own good.
Normally conditioned American who's been trained to kill and then to have no memory of having killed. His brain has not only been washed, as they say, it has been dry cleaned.
Oh, that shit's supposed to be funny.
Is a Manchurian candidate, controlled by others to do things against his will, possible?
It was a remarkable film because, as far as I'm concerned, it made something totally impossible seem absolutely credible.
I would say the answer is yes, but there are many qualifications to that.
Dr. Milton Klein, a psychologist, a clinical and experimental hypnotist, and unpaid consultant to the CIA.
The qualifications would be the subject selected to produce the kind of behavior that you wish, the amount of time, the procedures that are utilized, and the motivations of the people who are designing, executing, and administering the procedures. You're asking whether an individual can be, under hypnosis, influenced, coerced, persuaded, shaped to perform an antisocial act, or a destructive act, or an act of violence. My answer would be yes.
Dang.
Captain Marco, will you be good enough to lend Raymond your pistol, please? Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Ben.
Sure, kid. Shoot Bobby, Raymond. Through the forehead.
Damn.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, man.
How valuable a tool can hypnosis be in the intelligence field?
None whatsoever. It has absolutely no use because nobody's ever been able to do that I know of, do it in an operationally feasible way. I'm not in any way saying that hypnosis doesn't take place. I'm not saying there's nothing to it.
I would say that most government agencies concerned with intelligence operations have been looking to hypnosis as a tool for a variety of purposes, one of which is to carry out and to execute certain intelligence operations on a basis where they would not have to rely completely on some of their own emotional reactions. Actually,
Would that entail murder?
It could, if you consider that an act of killing someone under circumstances of war is murder. I think one has to define what that means.
Under circumstances of peace.
Under circumstances of peace, it would
Why
be
do
murder.
they smile? They're
What
so
that
creepy.
means.
Look at this. Look at that. We're talking about we're talking about taking somebody's life, man, and this dude has got a big smile on his face after somebody's playing around in somebody's brain, brainwashing them, making them not know what they did or whatever. This dude, look at his smile. Sinister, yo. These dudes is crazy.
I think one has to define what that means.
Under circumstances of peace.
Under circumstances of peace, it would be murder.
Yeah, no shit.
Another former CIA agent says that
Even
Fidel...
and war is still murder. You ain't supposed to. We're not supposed to unalive other people, man. We not supposed to do that shit. Who the fuck are you to go take somebody's life? What? Because you want to take their land? Been there, done that. Took our motherfucking land. Now you want to go, man, look here.
Fidel Castro
Look here.
at one time was considered as a possible target for a Manchurian candidate.
Castro was naturally our discussion point. Could you get somebody gung-ho enough that they would go in and get him? But if you have 100% control of a guy, you have 100% dependency. If something happens and you haven't programmed it in, you've got a problem.
So in the end, it was decided that a Manchurian candidate was not feasible. But the search for mind control continued. But could the mind be controlled? Perhaps not. But is human behavior predictable? In this area, the CIA did make a significant breakthrough. A personality assessment system designed by the agency's chief psychologist, John Gittinger. It comes close to being able to predict how humans will behave.
It's really a descriptive system, an attempt to try to describe personality in a relatively systematic way so that hopefully you can get some kind of an idea to predict what the behavior between different kinds of individuals.
Gittinger's system had many uses in intelligence work. One was to draw personality portraits of world leaders. Using Gittinger's system, the agency concluded the Shah of Iran is a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac whose basic problems resulted from an overbearing father. And there were other applications. Your assessment staff played a key role in helping other governments pick their police intelligence agencies, including, we've learned, the Korean CIA, Uruguayan National Police. Can you tell us about this?
No.
Damn.
Author John Marks.
Why not?
The former #2 CIA man in Uruguay told me how in 1966, John Gittinger and an assistant traveled down to Uruguay and gave the tests in order to select members of the Uruguayan intelligence service. A psychologist who used to work for the CIA told me in 1961 he personally traveled to South Korea as part of an American CIA effort to set up the Korean CIA and to give the personality tests to candidates for the Korean CIA to choose the best man for their secret police.
But one of the basic functions of Gittinger's system was finding the vulnerabilities of an agent, a double agent, or a potential agent. In its applicability to intelligence work, isn't the PAS system looking for a person's soft spot?
Well, of course, the answer to that is yes, but I hasten to say soft spot. This is what I consider a negative word.
Of the hundreds of behavioral projects undertaken by the CIA, Gittinger's appears to have been one of the more successful and more conventional. Other experiments were not as conventional. Neurophysicist Dr. Jose Delgado was financed by the Office of Naval Research. In this experiment, the bull is sedated. Electrodes are implanted in its brain. Delgado transmits an electronic impulse to the center of the bull's brain. Delgado has remote control of the animal. Recently released CIA documents refer to the feasibility of remote control of animals and that special investigations will be conducted toward the application of selected elements of these techniques to man.
Oh, they're trying to do it to us, and this is old.
Other
so they
areas
already
were
are doing
examined
it
through
to
the
us.
60s and 70s. Brain surgery, psychosurgery, creation of...
Y'all remember when Elon Musk was talking about that Neuralink shit to your brain? They're already doing this shit, bro.
Amnesia,
Don't do the Neuralink, y'all, because you see what's going on. Don't do the Neuralink, because they're going to be controlling your ass.
Psychology,
making you go in circles
manipulation
and
of
chase
genes.
red shit. Like bulls.
Even though past and present CIA officials have indicated this kind of work ended in 1963.
Bullshit, that ain't end nothing.
And one of those who took part in these programs.
Thank you, sir.
In 1977, a Senate subcommittee heard testimony from many of them, but the testimony was not that revealing. According to one of them, they agreed amongst themselves to keep the inquiry within bounds that would satisfy the committee. Former narcotics officer Charles Siragusa says that he was asked to limit his testimony by the man he reported to at the CIA.
He wanted me not to say anything.
To perjure yourself.
That's right. Well, either that, I'd have to perjure myself or take the Fifth Amendment. And I'm not about to take the Fifth Amendment for anybody.
Okay. Former CIA chemist Robert Lashbrook testified he had no first-hand knowledge of the agency-run safe houses when, in fact, he supervised one of them. There was very little. And according to George White's diaries, was at a safe house when White conducted what he called an LSD surprise experiment. Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, whom we recently filmed near his California home, oversaw many of the CIA behavioral programs.
These niggas overseeing all this. This dude is playing tennis. They're living a normal life. Slap the tennis ball. Slap the tennis ball. All right, now let's go play with these people's head. Huh.
Retired in 1973 and destroyed the records of this work.
That's bullshit. How he can retire and destroy his records? It's not right, y'all. Like, all these systems, man, we should be trying to figure out, like, what's going on. We got to stop listening to them, let them talk to us. Because they're just mind controlling us. They always trying to take us, send us this way. We should be like, man, y'all not allowed to talk unless we asking you a question. You need to answer it on the spot. No sitting there thinking about, like, writing nothing down. None of that shit, nigga. Answer. Why are you experimenting on the people? Why are we not uniting as one? You know what I'm saying? Trying to, you know, be more productive, man. We should be way more productive than we are right now. You see, we're all living in a big ass prison. It's all slavery. Everybody, just because you just got a either happy slavery or you got a messed up one. Because you got a nice house, you think that's something, man. You're paying for water. We're not supposed to be paying for nothing. They got us messed up in the mind, yo. We're not supposed to pay for nothing. We're not supposed to have to, even the house, car, whatever. Everything should be optimal at its best for the people, right? Shouldn't everything should be just dope, like perfect? Everything should be. There shouldn't be levels. It shouldn't be a hierarchy. No, it shouldn't be. We should all be learning the exact same stuff. Everybody should know what everybody needs to know, unless if they got something to hide, so that they can keep control over your ass. I believe we could have so much more potential if we were all just able to just be. But they keep you in this stress-induced ass earth, man. The stress-induced ass world, man.
In sort of a valedictory letter, Dr. Gottlieb wrote that he and his colleagues had been able to maintain contact with the leading edge of developments in the field of biological and chemical control of human behavior. Dr. Gottlieb also testified before the Senate subcommittee, but from an anteroom where he could not be filmed because of what his lawyer termed health and cardiac problems. Dr. Gottlieb declined ABC News' request for an interview. And what of George White, the man who helped the agency in so many of its programs? He would retire here to Stinson Beach, California.
He get to retire. He get to go mess with people's head, fuck with people, mess people all up, and he get to retire on the beach. And this is what we supposed to call the land of opportunity, the land why these dudes just mess with you and they get to live a happy life.
And shortly before his death, he wrote to his boss at the CIA, Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, and summed up his career by saying, "It was fun, fun, fun. Where else could a red-blooded American boy lie, kill, and cheat, steal, deceive, rape, and pillage with the sanction and blessing of the All-Highest?"
Oh! He didn't just say lie, steal, and cheat. He said grapes and pillage. That means these dudes was the ones running what's going on, y'all. Think about it. They kidnapping, they taking people, they're doing stuff to him they're not supposed to do. Look at his face. Look at him. He got to live a great life and retire, y'all. While it's regular people like your kids or you or your grandparents or something that was trying to live a good life and you're getting experimented on by this dude. And his experiments include putting drugs in your community and seeing people just all this stuff happen. Pillaging. You know what I'm saying? Causing catastrophes. And he got to live a good life. A great life. He said it was fun, fun, fun. Wow!
Could a red-blooded American boy lie, kill, and cheat, steal, deceive, rape, and pillage with the sanction and blessing of the All-Highest? Has mind control been achieved? From all of the available evidence, it appears doubtful. The human will has prevailed.
Hold on.
From all of the available evidence, it appears doubtful.
Boy, you got to be a fool. How you going to say it appears doubtful? Hold on. Maybe he's going to say something else. Hold on. Before I roast his ass. Hold on.
The human will has prevailed up to this point.
No.
But as we have seen, work is continuing in this field.
Bruh. The commercials was all mind control, y'all. Throughout this whole hour-long shit, and I know this was a long watch. If y'all stayed with me this whole time, I appreciate y'all, man. Like and subscribe. Melanated. This is going to be on both my Melanated Earth Frequencies channel and my Gunline Podcast channel. Melanated Earth Frequencies and the Gunline Podcast. And I'm telling y'all, this some old bullshit, man. He talking about it wasn't achieved. Yes, it was achieved. Mind control has been achieved. They are controlling our minds right now. They got you. You don't even know you in the prison because you got this rectangle, which is another box, a cousin of a box. You got the rectangle, which got you back. You're in prison. You scrolling. You ever notice that when you scroll, it never stops? It's infinite. They got you. Just because you ain't got the shackles on in the walls, you don't see the prison. That's what's so dope about this new one. It's mind control. It works. It worked back then. They made you buy stuff that you thought you needed. Hey, man, he looks like he's getting less stressed. I'll go get that beer, not knowing that if you get that beer, it leads to alcoholism. And then that leads to liver failure and kidney failure. And all. It's all mind control, man. You don't need none of that stuff to feel good. Just put your bare feet on the earth and breathe. Breathing is some of the best thing you can do to feel better.
Work that we still don't know very much about. How deeply are the Russians and other dictatorships into all of this? We really can't say. And the CIA is reluctant to give out information about it. But the basic question remains, what place does all of this have within a democracy? One final point should be made.
Okay.
As one of the persons who worked on these programs told us, we are very capable, conscientious, and very dedicated scientists working for our country. Their work speaks for itself.
Working against your country. Say the truth, man. Quit bullshit.
This is Paul Altmaier for ABC News. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Like, bring some more of them brainwashing ass commercials. Damn, I knew they was finna do that. Huh? Hold up. Hold up. How did I know? Excuse me. Excuse me. How did I know they was finna go straight into a commercial? They ended off with more brainwash. And he talking about it ain't working. This was a program that happened way back then. And we about to get a good 2 minutes of commercials. Let's see how they brainwashing this real quick. Let's break it down.
Idea. Potato peeler? Nope. Hair curler. It's Vanish Bow Freshener. Freshness in a snap. Snap it under the rim and it freshens 2 ways. It's always there to freshen. Then when water hits it, extra deodorizer and detergents are released, working best when and where you need it. When the bowl's fresh, the bathroom's fresher.
Snappy idea. Vanish Bowl Freshener.
Stupid. Just keep your bathroom clean, man. Vanish bowl freshener. My bathroom, my shit don't never stink. My toilet bowl don't stink. I don't got that shit in there. They're making you want stuff you don't even need, man. They're fucking with your head, man. You don't need that shit. They're making you want that shit. If you don't clean your toilet bowl every damn day.
Vanish for a cleaner bowl and a fresher bath.
Come on, give me some more brainwash. What else y'all got? I know you ain't done.
What do doctors recommend for pain today? This report shows doctors' #1 choice is the pain reliever in Anacin.
I mean... So the first brainwash, he opens up some book and goes to the #1 choice, and then he tells us it's Anacin. Man, that shit had a whole goddamn bunch of shit written down, but I didn't see Anacin in there. They're fucking with us, man. He's leading us in a direction.
5 million recommendations last year for pain of headache, backache, minor arthritis, and muscle ache.
God damn.
The ingredient in Anacin is the doctor's #1 choice.
What's the ingredient?
Anacin is strong. A special combination of medical ingredients, free of stomach upset for...
They're not telling you what the ingredients are. Medical ingredients. These niggas, what the fuck is that shit they pouring right there? We don't know what that is.
Anacin is strong. A special combination of medical ingredients, free of stomach upset for millions everywhere. The ingredient...
For millions everywhere. Well, there's billions of us. So what about the rest of them millions? Like, you don't think. You're like, oh, my back hurts. He said back pain. Go give me that back stuff. Oh, it's gonna work, but it's gonna fuck something else up.
In Anacin, doctor's #1 choice.
Hold up.
Anacin, medical ingredients, free of stomach upset for millions everywhere. The ingredient in Anacin.
He never says what the ingredient is. Damn, boy, it's all mind control.
Doctor's #1 choice.
Give me some more. Come on. Oh, that's how I end. Well, I guess that was the mind fuck and the mind joke at the end right there. What's this?
Presentation of ABC News.
We're still
So they're telling you that they're still the one. That, you know, they're still the one that I guess everybody watching or some shit. Uh-oh, it's more.
Kidnapping of that newborn baby. A rock. Skylab nears its final orbit. An arrest in the kidnapping. Skylab nears its final orbit. An arrest in the kidnapping of that newborn baby. A rock star sentenced for income tax evasion. And a local gymnast talks about her winning performance in San Juan.
How they got all this news talking about tax evasion, kidnap babies? They ain't talking about how y'all playing with our mind, though. How the dude got to say he got to do all these horrific things, horrendous things, and he just got to live and have a life on the beach.
7 is next.
We were concerned about our monthly electric bills, so we called Pepco for help. They sent us this energy-wise home audit. Just take a few simple measurements and answer the questions. Then mail them back to Pepco. Then Pepco will, free of charge, analyze your home's energy use and send you back a list of recommended changes to help you save money on your bills. Right to...
So, you see how they do? Y'all don't see this one, huh? I'm going to have to tell y'all what they just did. They just sat here and told us, you know, we can save money on your bills with Pepco, right? And they show you what you can do to be energy efficient. Not letting you know and taking your mind completely away from the fact that we ain't supposed to be paying for no fucking bills. We ain't supposed to be paying for no power. We're not supposed to have no power grid. If you're familiar with Nikola Tesla, he knew how to use the electromagnetism from the earth, right? That's what we're supposed to be on. We're supposed to all have free energy. It's everywhere. It's free energy is everywhere. Nothing else has to pay for energy, y'all. Only humans have to do this shit. And the way to bypass your frontal cortex right here, the way to bypass that and get past it and make you think, not even think about it, mind control, so you don't even think that it's thinking it. They give you good music. They give you people smiling. Okay, they like to use melanated people for certain things, like paying your bills is a melanated people problem. You know what I'm saying? White folks don't really have to deal with that. It's more of a black folks got to deal with that. So they use us to make us feel like, oh, okay, we can save some little money. Okay, we just got to know what to do. We got to make our windows like this and all, all this bullshit. We're not looking at the fact that we're not supposed to be paying for nothing, period. They created all this shit, man. All this shit is man-made, made up. Come on, man. You didn't come out your mama with a bill. You came out with hands, feet, arms, legs, and a head and a body. Perfect. You got to be introduced to these things. Okay?
Today for Pepco's energy-wise home audit to help.
Okay? So they make the stuff normal, y'all. That's what they do. They make it all normal. They make it cool. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. And, you know, I just wanted to go over it with y'all, man. And give y'all a visual or, you know, my point of view of all of it. And, you know, this is wild, man. This is wild. And it's crazy that they can sit up here and make documentaries and go back over all this stuff like, you know, it's just cool. You know, it's nothing to it. It's just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And we just got to deal with people like this motherfucker right here. This guy who created most of this stuff, got to play around with people's head and then get to live on the beach. While everybody else got to pay taxes and be all nervous and scared to go to jail and scared to lose their things. While this dude got to just play around and do whatever he wanted, man. And to the people. So, hey, that's the end of this video, man. Mission Mind Control. It already has like 2.5 million views from 12 years ago. I'm just reviving it, bringing it back so that people can see. This is from Nuclear Volt. Nuclear Volt, I had that in the description. Y'all go and check it out, man. Hey, get my channel, man. I'm about to put up like 5 videos a day, man. I ain't done. I got to get this stuff in, man, because, you know, I got to start bigging this channel up. And I'm going to put this on my other channel, too. So, hey, Gunline Podcast. All right, and Melanated Earth Frequencies. Y'all make sure y'all like them channels. Y'all make sure y'all like my stuff, man. Check me out. I'm about to start putting up more stuff daily. You feel me? So everybody have a great day, and I'll be back with you. Peace.